So I actually said it out loud to their face.
Wait, you? You said no? To someone who asked you for something?
I know. I'm still processing it myself.
How do you feel? Guilty? Relieved? Like you just committed a crime?
All three. In that exact order.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Unstoppable. I'm Maria.
And I'm John. This podcast is here to help you speak English with confidence, personality, and zero fear. We have real conversations, we share real stories, and we explore the kind of English that actually gets used in the wild.
Today's episode is aimed at B2 to C1 learners, so upper intermediate to advanced. If you can follow what we're saying right now without subtitles, you're exactly where you need to be.
And quick check-in, how are we today, Maria?
Honestly, still a little rattled from saying that no yesterday, but also proud? It's complicated.
I'm feeling good, caffeinated, ready to talk about why saying no in English feels like defusing a bomb.
Before we dive in, we just want to say thank you. You could be anywhere right now, watching something mindless, scrolling your phone, doing nothing. But you chose to spend this time with us. That means something. So thank you.
All right, let's talk about saying no.
Here's the thing nobody tells you when you're learning English. You spend years learning how to say yes. Yes, I can help. Yes, I'll be there. Yes, of course. And then one day, you realize you've built a prison out of politeness.
Oh, that's dark, but also very accurate.
Because in English, especially if you're interacting with native speakers or professional contexts, saying no isn't just about the word itself. It's about the 10 other sentences you have to build around it so you don't sound rude, cold, or ungrateful.
Right. In a lot of cultures, no is direct. It's clean. It's respected. But in English, especially in British, American, Canadian contexts, no comes wrapped in layers. Like a really complicated gift.
Exactly. And here's the metaphor we're going to come back to today. Saying no in English is like closing a door gently. You can't just slam it. You have to ease it shut, check that no one's fingers are in the way, maybe leave it slightly open, apologize for the draft, and somehow make the other person feel okay about not coming in.
That is exhausting. But yes, that's exactly it.
So if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever said yes when you meant no, if you've ever left a conversation thinking, why did I agree to that? This episode is for you. Maybe you've been there too. Okay, so here's what happened to me. Yesterday, a colleague, someone I genuinely like, messaged me asking if I could review a 12-page document by end of day. And my immediate instinct? Sure, no problem.
Classic.
But then I stopped. I looked at my actual day. I had 3 meetings, a deadline of my own, and I hadn't eaten lunch yet. It was already 2 p.m. And I thought, if I say yes to this, I'm going to burn out. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Yesterday.
Okay, hold on. Burnout. Let's pause there because that's a phrase people use wrong all the time. Burnout means to become exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally, because you've pushed yourself too hard for too long. It's not just being tired. It's when your battery hits 0 and doesn't recharge.
Exactly. You know that feeling when you're tired, but sleep doesn't help? That's burnout.
Right. So picture this. It's 9 p.m. You're staring at your laptop. Your eyes are dry. You've been working since 7 a.m. You're not even processing what you're reading anymore, you're just moving your eyes across words. That's burnout knocking on your door.
And I've been there multiple times. So yesterday, I made a choice. I closed the door gently. I said no.
How did you say it?
I wrote back, I really appreciate you thinking of me, but I won't be able to give this the attention it deserves today. Could we push this to tomorrow morning?
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Thank you. I was sweating while I typed it.
But look at what you did there. You didn't just say I can't. You gave a reason that was about quality, not laziness. And you offered an alternative. You softened the blow.
Soften the blow, yes. That's the phrase. It means to make bad news or rejection easier to hear. You're delivering the same message, but you're wrapping it in something gentler.
Like when a doctor tells you that you need surgery. But first they say, okay, let's sit down. Everything's going to be fine. They're softening the blow.
Exactly. And in English, especially in professional or polite social situations, you almost always have to soften the blow. You can't just say, no, I'm not doing that. You'll sound harsh, cold, maybe even rude.
Unless you're very close with someone and they know your tone. Then you can just say, nah, can't. And they get it.
Right. Context is everything. All right, let's get practical. Because if you're going to say no, you need language that works. Here are some phrases that will save your life.
Number 1, I'd love to, but I can't commit to that right now.
Ooh, commit. That's a strong word. To commit means to dedicate yourself to something, to say you'll follow through. So when you say you can't commit, you're being honest about your capacity.
Exactly. You're not saying, I don't want to. You're saying, I can't promise I'll do this well. That's mature. That's professional.
Number 2, let me check my bandwidth and get back to you.
Bandwidth is amazing. It's a tech term that's become a life term. It means your mental or emotional capacity to take on more work or responsibility.
Right. Imagine someone asks you to join a new project. You want to say yes because it sounds interesting. But you're already managing 3 other things. You don't have the bandwidth. Your brain is at full capacity.
So you say, let me check my bandwidth and get back to you. It buys you time. It sounds responsible. And it doesn't burn any bridges.
Number 3, and this one's my favorite. I'm going to have to pass on this one, but I really appreciate you thinking of me.
Pass on this one is so casual. It's like you're at a restaurant and someone offers you dessert. I'm going to pass. No drama. No explanation needed.
But you still acknowledge them. I really appreciate you thinking of me. That line does so much work. It says, I see you. I value this relationship. This isn't personal.
And that's the key, right? When you say no, you're not rejecting the person. You're just declining the request.
Decline the request. Yes, that's formal, but very useful. To decline means to politely refuse. It's the professional version of nah.
Imagine you're invited to speak at an event. It's an honor, but it's 3 hours away on a weeknight, and you won't be paid. You want to say no without sounding ungrateful. So you write, thank you so much for the invitation. I'm honored. You thought of me. Unfortunately, I'll have to decline due to prior commitments.
Prior commitments? Beautiful. Vague. Professional. Could mean anything.
Could mean you have a meeting. Could mean you're watching a show. Could mean you're finally going to fold that laundry from last Tuesday.
Nobody needs to know. And that's the point. You're allowed to protect your time without explaining every detail.
Okay, real talk. Let's talk about what happens when you don't say no. When you just keep saying yes, because it feels easier in the moment.
You stretch yourself too thin.
Yep. Stretch yourself too thin. One of the most accurate phrases in English. It means you're trying to do too many things at once. And as a result, you're not doing any of them well. Like stretching a piece of dough until it tears.
I did this last year. I said yes to freelance work, yes to helping a friend move, yes to hosting a dinner party, yes to learning a new skill, all in the same 2 weeks.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It was. And here's what happened. I did all of those things, but I did them badly. The freelance work was late. I showed up to help my friend move, but I was distracted and tired. The dinner party was stressful, not fun, and I never touched that new skill again.
Because you were spread too thin.
Exactly. Spread too thin is basically the same as stretched too thin. You're covering too much ground with too little of yourself.
Picture this. You're a manager. You have 5 projects. You want to be involved in all of them because you care. So you attend every meeting, review every document, give feedback on every detail. But because you're spread too thin, you're not actually leading anything. You're just exhausting yourself.
And the frustrating part? People don't even notice. They just keep asking for more.
Because you never said no. You never closed the door gently. You left it wide open, and people assumed you had infinite space.
And listen, this isn't about blaming other people. People ask because they trust you, because you're good at what you do. The problem is when you don't set boundaries.
Set boundaries. Crucial phrase. It means to clearly define what you will and will not accept, what you can and cannot do. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your time, energy, and peace.
And in English, setting boundaries is a communication skill. You have to say it out loud. You can't just assume people will know.
Right. If you never say, I can't take on anything else this week, people will keep asking. Because they don't live in your head. They don't know you're already underwater.
Underwater, another great one. It means overwhelmed, drowning in work or responsibility, like you're literally struggling to keep your head above water.
Imagine it's Monday morning. You have 18 unread emails, 2 deadlines on Friday, a presentation to prepare, and someone sends you a message, "Hey, can you help with this thing real quick?" You're underwater. You don't have the capacity. But if you don't say that, they'll assume you're fine.
So you have to say it. I'm underwater this week. Can we revisit this next Monday?
And most people will respect that. Because you were honest. You didn't make excuses. You just told the truth.
Okay, I want to shift gears for a minute. Because this isn't just about language. This is about mindset. And here's the thing I've realized. Saying no is not about being selfish. It's about being sustainable.
Ooh, I like that. Say more.
When you say yes to everything, you think you're being generous, helpful, a good person. But what actually happens is you burn out, you resent people, and eventually, you stop showing up at all.
Right. You're not actually being generous. You're being, what's the word, a people pleaser.
Yes, a people pleaser is someone who constantly tries to make others happy, even at their own expense. And it sounds nice. But it's not sustainable.
Because eventually, you run out. You hit a wall.
Hit a wall. Great phrase. It means to reach a point where you can't continue, where your energy or patience or capacity just stops. Like a runner in a marathon who physically can't take another step.
I hit a wall last year. I was saying yes to every social event, every work project, every favor. And then one day, I woke up and I just couldn't. I couldn't answer my phone. I couldn't check my email. I couldn't even think about one more conversation.
That's what happens when you don't say no. The no builds up inside you until it explodes.
So here's the mindset shift. Saying no is an act of self-respect.
Yes, it's not rude. It's not mean. It's you saying, I matter too. My time matters. My energy matters.
And when you say no to the things that drain you, you create space for the things that actually matter.
That's the part people forget. Every yes to something you don't want is a no to something you do want.
Let that sit for a second. Every yes to something you don't want is a no to something you do want.
So if you say yes to a project you hate, you're saying no to rest. If you say yes to a social event that exhausts you, you're saying no to time with people you actually love. If you say yes to everything, you're saying no to yourself.
And that's not noble. That's just sad.
It is. So here's what I'm learning. No is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone an essay. You don't owe anyone your pain. You can just say, I can't do that, and let it be enough.
That's powerful. And honestly, people respect it more than you think.
All right, let's slow things down a little. Word tour time. We covered a lot of expressions today, so let's walk through the key ones and make sure you really understand how to use them.
Number 1, burnout. To become extremely exhausted, mentally, physically, or emotionally, because you've been working too hard for too long without rest. Casual example, I burned out after finals. I literally slept for 2 days straight.
I burned out twice in my 20s because I didn't know how to say no. I thought pushing through was impressive. It wasn't. It was destructive.
Number 2, soften the blow. To make bad news, rejection, or disappointment easier to accept by using gentler language or offering something positive alongside it.
Formal example. The manager softened the blow by offering severance packages to employees who were laid off.
Casual example, I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so I softened the blow by saying, I was really busy. Not that I didn't want to go.
You can soften the blow with your tone, your word choice, and by acknowledging the other person's feelings.
Number 3, sit this one out. To choose not to participate in something, usually temporarily, without making it a big deal.
Formal example. I think I'll sit this one out and let the junior team members take the lead on this project.
Casual example, you guys go ahead to the bar. I'm going to sit this one out tonight.
It's light. It's casual. It keeps the door open for next time. Compare that to, I'm never going to another party again. Way too dramatic.
Number 4, running on fumes. Operating with almost no energy left, like a car that's about to run out of gas.
Formal example. The organization has been running on fumes since the budget cuts. We need more funding. Casual example. I'm running on fumes today. 3 hours of sleep and 2 cups of coffee. I use this one constantly, especially on Mondays. Formal example. Managing difficult clients can really drain you if you don't set clear boundaries.
Casual example, I love my friend, but sometimes her drama just drains me.
Notice the difference. I'm tired is physical. I'm drained is deeper. It's mental and emotional.
Number 6. Stretch yourself too thin or spread too thin to try to do too many things at once, resulting in poor performance or exhaustion.
Formal example. The company is stretched too thin across multiple markets. We need to consolidate.
Casual example. I'm stretched too thin this semester. I should have dropped one of these classes.
When you're stretched too thin, everything suffers. Your work, your relationships, your health.
Number 7. Set boundaries. To clearly define and communicate what you will and will not accept in terms of behavior, time, or energy.
Formal example. It's important to set boundaries with colleagues so work doesn't bleed into your personal life.
Casual example. I had to set boundaries with my family. No more surprise visits without calling first.
Setting boundaries isn't mean. It's healthy. It's how you protect your peace.
And finally, number 8. Hit a wall. To reach a point where you can't continue, where your energy, patience, or capacity just stops.
Formal example. The team hit a wall in the third quarter and couldn't meet their targets.
Casual example. I was fine until about 3 p.m., then I just hit a wall. I couldn't focus anymore.
When you hit a wall, your body is telling you something. Listen to it.
Okay, let's make this real. Let's give you something you can actually do today.
Here's your challenge. Think of one thing you've been saying yes to that you actually want to say no to. Maybe it's a weekly meeting that isn't useful. Maybe it's a social obligation that drains you. Maybe it's someone asking for small favors constantly.
Write a message. Or just practice saying it out loud, using this template.
Thank you for thinking of me. But I won't be able to /have to pass on /need to step back from the thing. I really appreciate something genuine, but brief reason or alternative.
Fill in those blanks with your real situation. See how that works? You're respectful. You're honest. You're not burning bridges. You're just closing the door gently.
Try it. Even if you don't send it yet, just writing it down makes it feel more possible.
And remember, you're not being difficult. You're being clear. And clarity is kindness.
All right, we want to hear from you. Here's your comment challenge.
Finish this sentence. The last time I said yes when I should have said no, I ended up...
Maybe you ended up exhausted. Maybe you ended up resenting someone. Maybe you ended up learning a lesson. Tell us your story. Drop it in the comments. We read all of them.
And hey, if this episode helped you, even a little, hit that like button. It tells YouTube, more of this please. And it tells us we're doing something right.
Subscribe if you haven't already. We release new episodes every day. Real conversations. Real English. No fluff.
And turn on notifications so you never miss one.
Remember, saying no is not about closing doors. It's about choosing which doors are worth walking through.
You don't have to be everything to everyone. You just have to be honest with yourself.
Thanks for being here. Now, go practice saying no.
Gently, but firmly.
See you next time.
Stay unstoppable.